Hi, it's Khali and Prem from Triibe, and we're on day 3 of our vulnerability challenge. So Prem and I have been trying to figure out what we're going to talk about today, and we're coming up with different ideas, and none of the ideas were fully kind of landing with each other. So we're like, stuff it, let's just hit record and be in a little bit of the sensation of us being in disagreement about what we're actually going to talk about, and talk about that. And there's a really nice definition of intimacy that I like, which is that intimacy is not knowing what you're going to say before you say it. So that's what we want to be in today. So I'm curious what's present for you with that initial framing.
My desire in this Facebook Live is for us to have a conversation whilst we're inside of some triggering, and to see what happens. I feel nervous and excited about that. Some people have actually expressed desire that Khali and I record when we're in conflict. We're laughing, but actually I've been for the last I would say about half an hour, I've been feeling in my body heat, subtle heat all over, some tightness on my skin, mostly around my chest area and my belly, and the voice in my head is just a little bit fuck it, I want to press the fuck it button, you do the Facebook Live. And I said that. I was like, okay, so I want to just check in and tell you where I'm up to. And I said I noticed that there's this part of me that just wants to press the fuck it button and just record you doing it. And then I laughed and said, okay, let's do it about that. So that's my desire, is to have a conversation, keep it pretty short so that we don't, overstay our welcome on your screen, but to process a little bit.
Okay, so thank you for sharing your experience. I'm noticing that I had this kind of energy to say some things, which I probably will post about later, and it wasn't really shared energy around that, and then I felt a little bit kind of deflated, and then part of me feels a tiny bit sulky. I'm just I'll just do it by myself, whatever kind of thing.
That fits for me.
And then I'm just also in kind of in enjoyment of the process as well. So part of me is also just letting it be what it is. Yeah. And then I'm present to just the importance of kind of honoring the difference of design that we have, and then I'm just present to embracing kind of the energy of some of that kind of difference, as a generative energy, which to me is what this is actually ultimately about, is sitting in what's actually most alive for us. And the ideas that we had weren't actually what was most alive. What's actually most alive is just kind of in this energy of difference, and not quite being sure of how exactly we meet in that. So that's actually the meeting place that we're in.
As you share that, you seem kind of I can feel that place where you're it's sort of getting off on the energy of it, and then I can also see there's some tenderness. Seems tenderness there as well. I'm curious if that fits, because I feel those things. I'm feeling kind of a bit and a bit feisty, but then I also can feel my lips shaking a little bit, and I feel here in my chest is a little bit wobbly.
Yeah, they fit for sure. I feel care for both of us, and that we're putting ourselves on the line in what we're doing right now, and care also in actually the intention and the passion that we actually have, and how some of that is actually kind of going in different directions a little bit, and then it has each of us feel a little bit kind of a little bit of ouch in there, and I feel care for that, and actually appreciation for actually the intention that's there for both of us, and and I'm really present to how easy it is to like get lost in thinking about like what the thing needs to be rather than actually just being with the thing, you know, and kind of this process of needing to constantly let go of what we think is kind of the right thing to actually be with what is the rightness that's in emergence. So that's a really kind of, I think, humbling insight to kind of keep coming back to, you know, to let go of what our expectations are and be with what is. Yeah.
I notice as you're sharing that, like, I have this feeling like in my chest of like wanting like a kind of a reaching out feeling, and like I feel a little bit of sadness, and not about what you're saying at all. I love what you're saying, and then there's this part of me that wants to have just some kind of like present moment attention, I think. Before, when you shared with me that when I asked you, you know, what was it like to receive my feedback around what I thought about your idea of a Facebook Live, and I said, you know, I feel a bit frustrated because sometimes I give marketing advice and then it feels like it's personal, but if someone like one of our friends did, then, you know, I make up that you would receive it differently. And then you said to me that that doesn't really fit for you, and then you know, you shared that you felt deflated, but actually what you would have liked from me was kind of for me to champion a bit more before I actually kind of went in and spoke more to the like practical things about what your idea. And then I agreed with you that for me that projection fits, that there is a way that I can go into task and forget about the importance of like esteeming the relationship, you know, with you or with anyone, actually, work colleagues. And I feel a little bit of pain about it. Not that I'm not making up that you've done anything wrong, but I feel a bit of grief about it, just like because I feel a bit out of control of that part of myself. Like I feel I naturally just go to like getting things done. You know, I have so much of that in me that, yeah, I feel a bit sad that how I can kind of miss the importance sometimes of just slowing down and imagining what in the moment what you might be needing, you know. Yeah.
I feel quite touched that you share that. Like, it's quite present to just this sense of pain that I could feel being with you. So I felt kind of just like tenderness in my heart and some hurt and pain. I'm hearing you express this wanting to kind of slow down and be aware of your impact and not kind of too quickly go to task, you know, and wanting to like esteem the relationship and the people around you first. And I really appreciate that intention. And I'm aware of like where I do the same thing too. We do the same thing, and I'm actually aware that even in the task part, you know, that you have positive intention. You know, like, and I just love, you know, the desire to get better, and I can imagine us like continuing to get better, like just appreciating each other, you know, so that we feel like seen and held and welcomed, you know, and that we don't need to kind of go to these places of like necessarily kind of subtle resentments and sulkiness, and that's good too, you know. I imagine it's getting better. Yeah.
It feels good to hear that. I'm present as you're saying it. I'm present to like the frequency of that one in me who pushes, and it's got a lot of fire, like just like, like I want to do it, you know, and I just feel that in my body right now, and it feels like I don't really know, I don't have a place for her fully yet. Like, I think it's got, there's some calibrating and integration around the containment piece, and like slowing down and just kind of prioritizing connection. It's fucking intense to like hold that frequency of energy of wanting And it could be a bit of like teenager energy of just like, I want it my way, you know, that could be there too. Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of bookmarks there, and I'm also aware of our time, so my desire right now is probably to like wrap up. And is that okay with you?
Totally.
Yeah, okay, sweet. So I feel vulnerable having done this. I hope that the people watching have found it valuable. This is like what our conversation actually looks like a lot of the time. We're having these conversations all the time, which is super satisfying, sometimes challenging, but it's so growthful, and it's so touching, and I think it is a good example of intimacy where we're just sharing the truth of what's going on for us and looking to really hear each other in that. Thank you.
I'm leaving feeling a little bit feisty, a little bit like joyful, grateful for you. Grateful for the way that you can place attention, you know, even like when I'm in a bit of storm energy. I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel love, and I feel a little bit nervous and reflective around the things that we're saying. Deepened.
Okay.
Sweet.
Whoa.
Bye.